Happy Hump Day, Irish coffee fans. Let's kick off the morning with some U.S. news. Because it seems like the news is always negative, always putting a real damper on your day, our first story this morning is a real change of pace, a little positivity to get you going. NASA announced yesterday that it has received signals from Juno, the solar-powered aircraft that is now orbiting Jupiter. Juno was launched 5 years ago in a quest to explore the solar system's largest planet and its origin, as well as its surrounding atmosphere. It underwent incredibly tricky maneuvering to successfully enter Jupiter's atmosphere, and this is viewed as a substantial accomplishment for NASA. As fun as it is to cheat on your wife with a robot, some Ashley Madison users were not thrilled about the revelation that their attempts at adultery were entirely futile, as they were sending dirty messages and plans to have raunchy sex with strangers to computer programs. Oh, that's right, they were also paying for it. The company that runs the website announced over the weekend that many of the women on their site were not actually women at all, and were instead computer robots. The FTC is currently investigating the company. However, it is still unclear as to whether this is due to this particular announcement or the fact that Ashley Madison promised to keep their users' data safe but had a massive data breach just last year. Bottom line, don't try to cheat on your significant other using Ashley Madison. And moving on to world news. If there's one guy you don't want to go missing and fly under the radar, it's a former Guantanamo Bay detainee. However, Syrian native Abu Wael Diab is nowhere to be found, and Uruguayan authorities are panicking. They insisted that he was visiting Brazil, which was allowed given his refugee status in Uruguay. However, there is zero record of him entering the country. As such, it appears that he may be using a fake passport, which just adds to the hellstorm. Diab spent 12 years in Gitmo for suspected ties to Al-Qaeda, which, quite obviously, makes him an incredibly dangerous individual. Nearly 130 people are dead and 42 are missing in China after heavy rain flooded the Yangtze River Basin, displacing more than 1.3 million people and causing roughly $7.7 billion in damages. While flooding is common in the region during the summer months, this year's rainfall has been particularly heavy. For your election news, Trump now has a short list of vice presidential candidates, which includes Indiana Governor Mike Pence, Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions. Some pundits are scoffing at Trump for picking Washington insiders when his entire campaign is inherently against Washington. However, Trump claims that having someone who understands the ins and outs of Washington politics and policy will certainly behoove his campaign. FBI Director James Comey announced yesterday that although Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server was extremely careless and likely very harmful for United States security interests, he would not be recommending criminal charges against the presumptive Democratic nominee. Comey went so far as to say that if Hillary were still employed by the government, she certainly would have faced disciplinary action. Although some see this as a clean bill of health for her campaign, Republican critics believe that the FBI was playing politics here and did not make the right decision. While I respect the professionals at the FBI, this announcement defies explanation, said House Speaker Paul Ryan. Trump responded to the announcement by tweeting out that the system was certainly rigged in Hillary's favor. Additionally, President Obama joined Hillary on the campaign trail in North Carolina yesterday, defending her credentials and bashing Trump, saying that, quote, "This is not a reality show, this is not entertainment." For sports news, Paul Gasol has announced that he will be leaving Chicago and heading to San Antonio to play with the Spurs next season. While details are still in the works, the deal is supposedly worth more than $30 million. And last but not least, for your culture news, PBS is under fire for airing reruns of Washington, D.C. 4th of July fireworks in what they claimed was a live broadcast of this year's event. There's something oddly depressing about watching reruns of fireworks celebrations on television at home, and that has led to hundreds of complaints toward the company. We hope you enjoyed your morning news with a kick. Be sure to share us with your now less informed colleagues and friends. Have a great Wednesday, and thanks for listening to this edition of Irish Coffee.